everybody. It's so nice to see such a great crowd here today. I'm only as impressed as I was the first and the second year, and maybe a little bit more, because there's more people, more survivors as our services keep working and we keep saving lives and bringing our people together. So I'm so proud and so happy to have all of you here today. And I want you to know that I did order the weather, and it came in, so. We couldn't be more blessed, and my heartfelt thanks to all of you for being here. We have a lineup of speakers today. We have our physician and two of our survivors. Starting the lineup is going to be Dr. Zulfi Hussain. He is a very sweet and wonderful physician that we are really blessed to have at our center. So please welcome Zulfi.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is enjoying, which I can see. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. Is that good? During this year's Cancer Survivorship Day, it is an honor for me. When I sat down to write my speech, I was at a loss as to how should I begin my speech? What should I talk about? Should I take Lisa Gregoire's advice? Where's Lisa? Is she around here? Should I take Lisa Gregoire's advice and list down all the reasons why I am the sexiest man out here? And I thought to myself, nah, that's already taken by Dr. Brown and Dr. Hahn. Can't beat them, too hot. In the end, I settled for what is near and dear to my patients and me. Celebrating life. Thriving, not just surviving. A second chance that I can see right now in front of me. It said life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. And what I'm witnessing in front of me is the reaction. This is life. You all are life. Each one of you has fought tooth and nail against cancer. And some of you will march on, continuing to fight in high spirits. Today, we have gathered here to celebrate the National Cancer Survivorship Day. It is a celebration for those who survived, an inspiration for those who were recently diagnosed, an outreach to the community, and perhaps most importantly, a rooting for all those friends and family members who stand behind their loved ones. Living life with a history of cancer is a unique journey for each survivor. Yet there is one common thread. Life is different after cancer. Yes, different, both in the positive and negative sense. It brings its own set of joys and challenges. It impacts friends, family, and co-workers. And on a positive note, sometimes life after cancer becomes a filter to weed out the bad from the good. The journey is complicated indeed. And the ride is bumpy. But let's not forget that the sun continues to shine bright. We are living in an era of remarkable oncological advancements. There are a whopping 15.5 million cancer survivors in the United States. That is an amazing 5% of the population. And you make that population. You all make that population. In fact, the number of cancer survivors are projected to increase by 31% by 2026. And this is encouraging. 2/3 of people diagnosed with cancer today will live 5 years or more. Cancer is no longer the death sentence that people used to think. So what exactly is saving our cancer survivors? Why are we seeing survival rates continue to rise? Here I'd like to point 3 major improvements. Number 1, screening. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of screening. Whether you have cancer or not, please get the age-appropriate screening as recommended. For cancer survivors, it becomes all the more important to rule out risk of treatment-related cancers. Number 2, and most important, improved management of side effects with the help of highly effective antiemetics and preventive measures. And this is not possible without a qualified, well-rounded team of nurses and staff members, which of course we are fortunate to have. Lastly, better and newer treatment options. Advancements in cancer research is moving forward at a phenomenal pace. Targeted therapy against genetic markers, immunotherapy, genetically engineered blood cells, to name a few. Though advancements in cancer treatment are seeing an unmatched progress, being a cancer survivor still brings a new level of anxiety. As cancer survivors, it is okay to feel worried about your health. It is okay if you have 1,000,000 questions about follow-up care. And it is okay if you're still pondering over changed relationships and work issues. Rest be assured, you are not alone. The complications and care needs of long-term cancer survivors are expanding rapidly. We, as an oncologist, are working together with cardiologists, endocrinologists, pulmonologists, even dentists and general practitioners in our fight to give our cancer survivors a better and longer quality of life. We have comprehensive survivorship care plans individualized to specific cancers. The model of survivorship care identifies components which can be used to predict and potentially prevent late effects from cancer and its treatment. This model also provides surveillance guidance to look out for second malignancies as each cancer patient transitions to survivorship care. In the end, I'd like to say never to be underestimated. It is the positive attitude and hope, and I say this to all my patients, that all cancer survivors must have in order to move forward successfully. Optimism is a faith that leads to achievement. I would like to end my speech with a quote. Why should I fear death? If I am, death is not. If death is, I am not. Why should I fear that which cannot exist when I do? Today, we stand together in our fight against cancer, and we march on as survivors, tall and proud. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day.
We found his song. Give him another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again, Doctor.
Fun and celebration is an important part of our life, and that's why we're here today. So, our next speaker is going to be Margaret Sippy. She is one of our survivors. She is a delightful lady that we are very blessed to know.
So this lady has been standing in the sun, sort of looking over my notes, and now I'm pretty much totally blinded. So I may be winging it, so bear with me. Many years ago, I once heard the phrase, "Cancer speaks, listen." A simple phrase, only 3 words. But these 3 words had a very profound but positive influence on my life. I feel fortunate that I heard these words, and I feel very lucky that I happen to remember it. My journey began 18 months ago. Mine was breast cancer. My sign was just a slight shadow, barely visible. Couldn't even decide if I was seeing a shadow. It was so faint. And then, checking a little further, I found the lump. Very small, very, very small. The doctor actually was amazed that I was able to detect it, but somehow I was. So that simple phrase came back to mind. Cancer speaks, listen. So also I had received advice from a dear friend who said, that supported this, anything on your body, anything on your skin that changes, seems different, follow up. So with those 2 pieces of advice, I did. I contacted my doctor and did that sort of in memory of my friend, because she did die of cancer. And I've always felt that I'm alive because of her. So I contacted my doctor, the usual battery of tests, the biopsy, and that revealed a very aggressive, small at that point, but very aggressive type of cancer, but was caught in the early stages. So my doctor immediately hooked me up with an amazing team of doctors here at the Oncology Center, and treatment began. But without that faint shadow, I wouldn't have known that I had a disease that would soon be invading my body. For that, I was blessed. As for the team here, I think probably all of you know, we're fortunate to have them. They went right to work, teaming up, formulating a plan for my situation. The caring staff took every question I had and answered it, and I knew that I would be fine, because here, I hope you know, we don't have just the best. We have the best of the best. We're very fortunate. I also knew about the attitude thing. To be sure to be positive, to try to be happy, keep your sense of humor, but most of all, positive, to be able to charge through with this big task ahead. You know, I got a little boost of that every time I came here to the center. Great atmosphere, wonderful, exceptional nursing staff, that we had fun with, we laughed. So they set the pace for what we needed just by being themselves. It was about at that point where I decided I was going to call it the chemo spa, because it was. It was a relaxing, fun place to go. So I would say I pretty much kept my sense of humor most of the time. I guess I'd have to have my family attest to that, whether I did or not. But I know I did keep active. We had a number of trips planned that involved tickets, airline tickets and things, and somehow that all worked out in between treatments. So there was nothing that had to be canceled, which is pretty hard to believe. But my positivity, my forging through, I owe to my husband, my prime caregiver, who is a saint, and the love and support of my 3 daughters, 6 granddaughters, the husband, son-in-laws, and many, many dear and caring friends. They were always there for me, and I'm blessed to have them in my life as I nurtured through that healing process. So everybody asks, how are you doing now? Well, pretty excited to say I'm doing great. I pretty much feel back to normal, and stepping stone just yesterday, I am without my port. They took it out yesterday, so that was good. I continue to be active with no limitations, and I was quite surprised that in this whole adventure, there were some pretty neat perks. Excuse me for the perks that popped up. Most of all, and any of you have gone through it, how about that excuse, oh, I couldn't remember chemo brain, sorry. So that one, I'm hoping to keep for the rest of my life. Then there's the new look. I used to have brown hair that I had to floss because it was kind of, or highlight because it was kind of mousy looking, but I was very happy to trade that in for this, is what I was blessed with. So I have the natural silver gray highlights, short hair, good to go. It's easy and I'm loving it. But the huge plus is all of you. All of the staff, doctors, people here, and all the wonderful friends I've made here at the Barco Center. Special thanks. Thank you. Throughout my childhood, I wasn't real big on eating. Well, maybe some things like dessert, but vegetables and especially Brussels sprouts. We had a rule at my house growing up that we had to take at least 3 bites before we could have dessert. Now dessert I loved. So I would cram it in, sometimes washing it down with milk if I had to. And I remember this time in particular that as I was washing down my last ugly little Brussels sprout, my mother went to take my plate away, and as she did, she said, "Margaret, keep your fork." Well, this thrill went through my body. Those were exciting words to me because I knew the best part was coming, dessert, and hopefully chocolate. Throughout my battle, I knew that God was with me, guiding me, giving me strength. And I just kind of feel in my heart that maybe it was God saying to me, "Margaret, keep your fork. The best is yet to come." So in thinking about advice that I could possibly pass on to you, that would touch you no matter where you are. If you were recently diagnosed, maybe having treatments, maybe cancer-free, maybe terminal. What I would like to have you remember is keep your fort. The best is yet to come. Thank you.
That was beautiful, Margaret. Thank you so much. Our next speaker is going to be Reverend Philip Tour, and he is a fine gentleman that I have got to meet by asking him to speak here. I've heard the staff say nice things about him, and I think they have some fun with him, and I'm glad to introduce him to you, Mr. Reverend Philip Tour.
Hello everyone, we just heard two great speakers, so I'll try to undo that tradition. At this time, a special is going to come. Fanny's going to make her way forward. While I'm speaking, the notes are going to be distributed to you. I'll go through them when we finish, but there's some papers that you can keep, and I'll be talking about them. Fanny, please come up. Her spouse has got treatment here, and she plays this 10-foot harmonica. Well, it's only about 2 inches, so I asked her to play a song called You Are My Sunshine, and I will try to lead you as a choir director. You can play to here if you want. Sing along if you want to. Take it away. Thank you. Thank you. One of the precious people I knew before here, but we rekindled friendship. At this time, my wife and daughter are going to come up. They're going to help me with some props. My wife's going to hold a sign that says, "Let's celebrate." So when I like to celebrate, I like to hoot and holler. So on the count of 3, we'll hoot and holler. On that side, please. Just like we didn't practice. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's hoot and holler. And my daughter here is going to hold signs at a number 1 to 10. Now the purpose of this is I was given 10 minutes to speak. And so some of us in my profession could be long-winded, and I don't like long-winded speakers. So here goes my notes.
Time it up.
Okay, start to time me. Ready? 1 to 10. This is a gathering that's celebrating life, so let's celebrate. Hooray! The flyer said, we're going to keep holding the sign, honey, right? Just like we didn't practice. We're here to celebrate, we're here to inspire, and we're here to support. And the 2 previous speakers did a great job doing that. Last week was Memorial Day, and it's time to remember who gave their lives to this great country. So I think it's fitting that we celebrate and remember the great work that's being done at this facility. Just a little bit of myself. Last June 2016, I was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Since then, I had 18 chemo treatments, 12 of them being extremely intense, to the point where it's a month later that I'd had my last treatment, and I'm just very weak at times walking around. I had 18 chemo treatments, 6-hour Whipple surgery in Pittsburgh, where they took out 40% of my pancreas, all of my gallbladder, and part of my brain. Since December, I've been in the ER 8 times because of various things that are happening to me. But other than that, it's been a good year. At Barco, people, myself included, like to wear hats. And the hats that they normally wear here, I have something against them, so I'm gonna have my own hat. It's a New York Giants hat. I get so tired of seeing all those Steeler hats. You didn't hear me. I get so tired of those Steeler hats. So I got my Giants hats. Growing up in Brooklyn, New York, so that's... Wait, I'm thirsty, excuse me. I get a drink out of my Giants mug. Oh, how delicious, how delicious, how delicious. Well, I'm going to keep wearing my hat just to enjoy you or tick some of you off. At this time, I'd like you to give a standing ovation for all the patients and survivors that, if you can't stand, just applaud. So let's applaud the patients and survivors. Now you may be seated. Let's applaud the great Barco staff. Stand if you can. Standing ovation. The great Barco staff, the doctors and nurses. Let's also sit down and then get up. Let's give a standing ovation to all our family and friends that have helped us through this journey. The staff at Barco is pretty nice. They're very nice. The receptionists always smile. Registration people, the nurses, the doctors, and the volunteers. Being in chemo a lot, 3 minutes, okay? Here's some of the chemo nurses, and if you're here, just stand up. Dawn Mel, one of the chemo nurses, stand. Jolene, stand if she's here. Yvonne, she's from Canada, so applaud real loud. Sharon, we applaud Sharon. Rowena, Holly, Mariana, Sue. We applaud them. I've mainly dealt with 2 doctors, Dr. Brown, my main doctor, and then Dr. Hahn sometimes. So I'd like them to come forward, because I was thinking of giving you, so please come forward, men. I was thinking of giving you each a kiss. Dr. Hahn, come forward too. These are the main doctors that I deal with. 3-minute mark, so I still have time. So I was thinking of giving each of you a kiss. Were they running up? Were they running up? So I was going to give each of you a kiss, so I said, no, I'm going to give you a bunch of kisses. Here's a bunch of kisses for you. Nice hand. Thank you. Give me a nice hand. Dr. Hussein. Those are the doctors I mainly dealt with. I've gotten to know the volunteers. Maggie, who's here somewhere, is an artiste. And then there's an Andy Kay who does a lot of singing. There she is. I believe, amen. I believe, what are we up to, number 4? I believe as a community we're very blessed to have this facility. And we should applaud that. We have a great facility in our area. Great facility in our area. I looked up quotes about cancer, and one of the quotes has said, let's sock it to cancer. And so that's what Barco does. It socks it to cancer. Here's a pair of socks if you could give it to somebody. All right, sock it to cancer. I'm sorry? Oh, they are clean, my wife said. Except to use for my nose, they're good. Something I made up on the serious side. Cancer stinks, spoils, scares, strips, steals, shakes, stops, stresses, sorrows, separates, saddens, strikes, squashes, Cancer does all of that. But cancer loses at Barco. 6 minutes, 4 to go. Here's a quote. Any type of cancer is terrible. We do not realize what it actually feels like until it happens. And when it happens to ourselves, it's terrible. All our emotions we go through and the strength we need to build up is hard. And we don't understand how bad it really is. Cancer patients can understand, and so can their families to various degrees. Be patient with yourself. Many times I say to my wife, honey, I don't know what I did to cause this. And she'd say, you didn't do anything, it's just what you're going through. Understand that we have our bad days and we have our hard moments. And we're allowed to do that because we're human. Faith in God is very important to me. Somebody said, feed your faith and your fears will starve to death. There's a Bible verse that says, be strong and courageous. Don't fear, for the Lord your God is with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. And I hold on to that promise. When you have a hard time fighting, you put the sign down, you say, okay? Now I'm going to talk about fights. When you have a hard time fighting, look to God, look to your family. He will help you in the fight. He will help you in the fight. My sister is a cancer survivor. She lives in the town of Eastern PA. My mother battled cancer, and she had several bouts of it. And to the very end, her body wasted away, but her spirit was strong. It's one day at a time, and I know you realize that. Cancer affects all of us, whether you're mother, father, sister, brother, daughter, son, whatever it is. I say this all the time. Treasure your loved ones. Hug them all you can. Hold them all you can. Thank God for every day that you have them, because you just never know what the end when the end will be. Maestro? 8 minutes. Now we talk about the fight. And Lois, I can't hold the notes, so you'll have to hold them. One of the things my doctor said to me recently when I told him how weak I was, and I wasn't faking it, he says, cancer really beats you up. And how true it is. Turn the page, thank you. 9 minutes, okay, I have to hurry. Keep fighting. There are people cheering for you. So if you're cheering for somebody, do some cheering right now. Keep fighting. And never ever, and this was said previously by the doctor and the other speaker, never ever give up hope. Never give up hope. Hope is living with courage and confidence, not fear. We fight not by ourselves, but we fight together. And we're not going to stop fighting as a people, as the specialists that are here, until there's a cure. There are quotes. I had cancer. Cancer never had me. Cancer is a word, not a sentence. Just when a caterpillar thought the world was over, he suddenly became a butterfly. Cancer didn't bring me to my knees. It brought me to my feet. You're a warrior. Warriors don't give up. 10 minutes? They can stop again. Don't hold back. Don't hold back. Cancer may have started the fight, somebody said, but I'm going to finish it my way. You have to fight through the bad days. And now we're going to the poem. And I'm going to end with these 2 words. These are my own words before the poem. I lost my hair. That's why I wear the hats. I lost my time. I lost my weight, 35 pounds. I lost my taste buds. But I haven't lost my hope. And I haven't lost my fight. because my time is over, the poem you have, you can read for yourselves, but just keep getting up and keep fighting. Maestro, can we have that music again as we leave the stage? Thank you. God bless you.
I'll be entertaining them every day back there. I'm going to have to start hanging out more. That was wonderful. Thank you. And as you see, we have all walks of life, different ages, times in our life, places that cancer happens, and we are here to fight it. So thank you all for coming today. And what a beautiful ceremony and time that we've had. We will continue on with the drawings. But I also want to mention that over at the red table, with the red table skirt, is Lily Oncology. There is a butterfly painting that is essentially paint by numbers. We really want everybody's fingerprint in there, survivors and family members, because we're all in this together to create this lovely painting. And then we'll have it on canvas, and it will be displayed in the center forever. So please make sure you get your fingerprint on it. And thank you all.